Tingwen has been in exceptional form this year, reaching her peak with the SEA Games and Tokyo Olympics on the horizon. But first up, for the 26-year-old, the Singapore leg of the FINA Swimming World Cup. So Tingwen, you've blossomed into a fine swimmer, but no one really knows what goes on behind the scenes. So maybe share what you have done to get where you are today.
So what people see usually is just what happens during the meets, the competitions, when we're racing, and I think a lot of people just mistake it as a very glamorous sport because they just see like the winning and the medals and the media and the cameras flashing after. But swimming is a very tough sport. There are a lot of hours put behind the scenes and people don't know about. So for example, I train 10 times a week. Each session goes for about 2 to 2.5 hours, so there's about 25 to 30 hours a week in the pool. And then on top of that, you have the gym work when you're in the weight room, and then you have like conditioning where we run, we skip. So there's a lot more that goes into it than people think or realize.
How important was your support system during your low points?
So important. So important. I'm very close to my family. I come from a very tight-knit family. I'm the oldest of 3. My brother and my sister also swim. So we all grew up swimming together, and I think a lot of what I was going through when it was difficult for me was when my brother left for school in 2017 in the beginning, and then my sister left for school the same year later on in September. And I think I didn't realize it at that time, but I think I was just struggling with not having them here with me, having to also still dealing with like being away from home for 4.5 years when I was in college, and then coming back and then trying to like assimilate myself back into my family and like back to Singapore. Just feeling like I've lived like a part of my life there, and just trying to figure myself out.
You've had a brilliant 2019 so far, breaking records set by yourself in the 100-meter and 50-meter freestyle. What has been the key to your success this year?
I think a major part of this year's success has a lot to do with conviction. For the last 3 or 4 years, I haven't touched those times in years. I think some of the records come from back in the days where they had like the super suits, like the rubber suits that got banned because they were helping people swim way too fast, too easily. And so I didn't touch some of those times for a while, and I think for a period of time I just got very almost comfortable with like just being good and staying at that level where I was just good.
You've been flying the flag high for the country on an international level as well. What does it mean to you to represent the country, and especially hearing Majulah Singapura while you're on the podium?
You know, the moment that it actually really hit me super hard, I've heard the national anthem a few times, like both locally when they have like big meets held here, and also overseas, like for example during the Southeast Asian Games, and a few times like during the Asian Games. But I think it really hit me when I heard it in Rio in 2016 when Joe won the 100 fly. Maybe I was just really tired. I don't know, maybe it was the atmosphere also, because it's like it's the biggest, meet, it's the biggest games ever.
Exciting time coming up with the FINA Swimming World Cup in Singapore. How important will home support be, not only this week but in the upcoming SEA Games, and of course with the 2020 Olympics on the horizon?
I've always loved racing at home because, any swimmer can tell you when they race in their home country and they come out, their home crowd just goes wild. Really good memory. A good example of that was the Asian Youth Games in 2009 that was held here, and more recently the 2015 Southeast Asian Games that was held in Singapore. And I remember like it was just done so well. They had us like pick out music before coming out, and like I'm not sure what they had, but they had like dry ice or steam blowing at us when we came out. when they announced our names. And I just remember walking out and the crowd going wild, and I just love, like, it's such a good feeling, and it gets you so pumped and excited, and like, you're like, yes, that's why I like wake up at 4:45 every morning and I get into that super cold pool. Like, it makes it worth it, you know?
And finally, would you say you have a type A personality, and has this helped you become the success that you are?
Yes, I do. I think I am type A, actually. My siblings would say most definitely that I am. I would like to think that I've learned to be a little bit more relaxed, and I've learned to be a little bit more flexible. I used to be like the kind of person who would try and control the uncontrollable and not stress out, and be very like kanchiong. But I think it comes with like growing. I would say that it's definitely helped my career. I'm not sure if swimming also helped, or like I'm not sure if like being type A helped me get where I am in swimming, or if swimming actually shaped the kind of person that I am. It kind of calms me down knowing that like, okay, at this time I'm going to be at the pool and I'm going to be swimming, and that's all I'm going to be doing. Once in a while, having like things happen spontaneously is exciting and fun, but the kind of person I am, not too much. If not, I'm very stressed. Yeah.